Welcome to the Oral History Zoom. And this oral history is last month we looked at Jared Emick, award Tony Award winner,
Spotlight.
actor, Spotlight, the alumni spotlight of January was on Jared. And this month we're very excited to have another Tony Award winner, which is Joseph Blakely Forbes. And
Blakely.
yeah, no, I he because there's other Joe Forbes, and we want to make sure everybody knows you, Joseph Blakely Forbes, which I like your middle name, and his Tony for Excellence in the Theater in 2019. And we're honored to have you both here and to talk about your life in the theater and how the Playhouse actually, what we want to come back to more than anything is how the Playhouse got both of you to the next step.
and,
Because
and maybe together.
and to not maybe and together, but so that's what we're doing today, and we welcome everybody who's joining us online with this extraordinary interview with two fabulously talented scenic artists right in front of us, Joe and Deb Forbes. Let's see, you co-founded, as I understand, the Scenic Art Studio, and all you, and also there will be in the newsletter in February an article about you guys and about everything. And anybody who's listening, I'm going to encourage them to go in and look at all those videos from the from the Scenic Art Studio. Are a wealth uh, of wonder and amazement and beauty. And I got lost in it for a couple days, and I'm amazed at what has happened and what continues to happen, because now you have sold it, handed it over, you've whatted it. How did
Uh,
that go?
I sold it to uh, a young lady who
Oh,
came came to work at Scenic Art Studios when she was still in high school.
that's right. Yeah.
Drawn by the art, just had a love for it. She started out emptying trash cans and answering the phones, and she has she has held every job in the company, and she now has mine. And she's brilliant. She's wonderful. Susan Jackson is her name,
Yes.
and she is building her own legend. Uh, and it's just a joy. So many of these theatrical companies are one person's vision, and they extinguish when that person's vision leaves the room. And I feel so blessed to be able to see Scenic Art Studios continue to thrive and to grow and to do more Broadway shows.
Amazing. Yes, so over 300 Broadway productions. That might even be much more by now. You guys have painted. You wanted to pass it down, which you have. Again, her name is
Susan Jackson.
Susan Jackson. And if you walked any of your or several of your videos, you get introduced to her. You guys do a nice job of that. And you see her working as well. Thank goodness Susan Jackson has it in her clutches now, and you guys get to relax a bit. You have always been somebody who wanted to pay it forward, and that's why you, as I understand it, you continued or you developed um,
School.
the school, and that is brilliant, and thank you. You've also taught at SUNY Purchase and all along the way at the Playhouse and such. But so I guess my question, I'm going to start with you, Joe, is how did you get to the Playhouse?
I got to the Playhouse. I attended, we have to touch on the school first for context. My school is an homage to Lester Polikoff, and the school that I attended in the early 80s. He had a building down in the East Village, and the faculty were all Broadway designers. It wasn't a degree program. it was a professional program. My scene design teacher at his school was a wonderfully talented gentleman named Jim Singles. And
Who
and
might be
him
coming to the reunion.
who would that would be great. He was a mentor to me.
Good. That's what I thought.
And you know, kept me offered me the first sort of non-union scenic artwork that I had ever been paid to do, and drugged me out to the Black Hills Playhouse uh, to paint his shows for him. I think was the and the carrot for me was that I got to design Deus Ex Machina.
Deus, Deus, Deus
Deus
Deus,
ex
ex machina,
machina.
yes.
Deus, Every
Deus.
time we come to Deus, we our whole lives,
Deus.
Deus,
Deus.
Deus, Deus ex machina.
Machina.
So that was your first design job, Joe?
It wasn't my first design job, but it was I mean I what was it? It was my certainly the in total it was one of the first jobs,
Excellent.
which I have to relate. You know, we crawl on a plane in New York City. I've been living in the East Village for several years now. I'm about as urban as it gets. We fall off the plane. We show up at the Black Hills Playhouse. It's pitch dark. We try and stumble our way down to Lenny's cabin, and we disturb a herd of buffalo.
Yeah,
And this city boy is going, "Oh my God, what have I gotten into?"
exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely terrified.
Now, when you say we, Deb, were you also, because let's see, 79 is when you came, Joe, right?
Yes,
79, 80, 81, 82, 83, right?
right.
And Deb, are you 82, 83, 84?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we'll get back to you. So that's how you got there. Okay, let's stop there. Let's go. And then I want to introduce Deb because you're the vice president. You were the vice president
Mhm.
of Scenic Art Studios, and you helped found it. And you prefer to be seen and not heard. But well, I know a little more about what you don't let be seen. But we'll talk about that later. I love the part about you grew up with in your father's bakery in Philadelphia. And so do you still make cakes?
No, not
Decorate
so much
cakes?
anymore. No.
It's a different
Those
medium.
yeah, different medium. Although I have to say that the baking business did help me in my scenic career because had done a lot of texture work and
Right.
everything. So a lot of things I applied cake decorating bags and smoothing out different textures. So
Interesting.
yeah, so it all
Yeah.
worked out pretty well.
Nice. And you were awarded, let's see, you also worked with Lester Polikoff, and
Yes.
you were awarded in 2018 a Women in Business Award, and you were honored. And thank you for being a woman in business. And you were with all these women in business that were honored. Thoughts about that?
Uh,
Hudson Valley.
that
Hudson
was
Valley. Yeah.
that was kind of a shock for me. I don't really see myself as a woman in business because they were all like in suits and everything, and I'm one of those people where I prefer to be in the background. So it was an honor, and I was touched by being nominated, but I don't know. I'm not good at that.
Well, evidently you are. You have awards in it. So
Yeah.
we honor that in you. And how did you now after how did you get to the Playhouse?
Okay, so I have to just backtrack. I went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania as a scenic design technical theater student, and my chairman of my department, Lynn Lockrow, went to school with Joe, and Lynn had brought Joe out to our school to do a workshop for scene painting, and So I was doing his scene painting, and Joe kind of took an interest in me, and we
In you or your painting or both? Let's not talk about
probably both. We had our first date on Valentine's Day when he was there.
you charm bag, Joe. Charming.
So, uh, it was nice. And I remember it when he was leaving to go back to the city. He said, "Listen, I'm not a letter writer, but I'll call you." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds great." Well, I hadn't heard from him in like forever, months, and I thought, "All right, thanks for the I'll call you." And literally one day I was leaving my apartment at school and going to go to the Southeastern Theater Conference to look for a summer job. And my phone rang,
Stop.
and it was Joe. And Joe was, "Hey." And I'm like, "Hey." And I said, "So much for phone calling." And he says, "Well, I'm calling you now, and I want to know if you would like to come out to the Black Hills Playhouse and paint my shows that I'm going to design out there." Well, I didn't have a job, so I figured, what the hell? So I ended up going out to the Black Hills Playhouse and had
And,
a great time and learned so much. And then the fun began.
and the fun began. Exactly. So that was 82.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense. So now, Mark, I think what we would like to do is run the video. First of all, I'd like to introduce to those who don't know my darling husband, Menno Cry, who's a designer and who we also have the Black Hills Playhouse in both of our the histories and how that came to be. But anyway, he's Menno, give a little bit about your history for anybody who doesn't know.
Actually, my design teacher at Michigan State University was uh, Lipke, who was part of the Playhouse at the very beginning and wrote the Gulch
Lyrics.
lyrics.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
and I heard stories about the Black Hills Playhouse, and I had no idea that I was ever going to end up there until I met Jenny May, and
And also, who planted all those tulips?
that's right. So at an 80-over 80-year-old, and that was old at the time, not so much right now,
Yeah, as you
as I just turned 80. Anyway, Fred Spade, his son was Sidney Spade and was part of the original, uh, in fact, the first few years of the Playhouse, and I was married to Gladys Carlson,
Oh,
who
one of
was
the young
ingenues of the Playhouse.
ingenue actresses that Neff always said had she been in New York, she would have been gobbled up.
Anyway, so I heard stories about he going out and working in the shop and building scenery, when I was in high school, and never knew that there would be that connection. So, there's a thread,
But wait, who planted the tulips?
that Fred Spade, the
On
father of Sidney Spade,
and the tulips were
and
in
the husband of Gladys Carlson, and Sidney Spade was at the University of Iowa.
and he planted tulips all along your mother's
motel.
motel and told Menno stories of the playhouse. So it's
Anyway,
all long and involved, but and then also Menno saw Donnell's Folly. I was a kid. He saw our bus that my mother created um, in the Black Hills, and with us, all of us kids in it, she transformed the school bus way ahead of her time so we could travel cheaply. And Menno saw the Donnell's Folly
even before we met
even before we met. So,
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
yeah, that's where we met. But anyway,
Anyway,
that's our story a little bit. And so now you know all the players. And Mark, if you would uh, we're going to go into La Mancha, she stoops, Deus ex machina, Deus.
There's photographs.
1979. We're going to start there. We're going to stop a minute. We're going to try to in La Mancha because I want you to talk about my first education in painting the back of a scenic, back of a drop, that moment. So, and then we'll go on into 80, which is Dames at Sea, Mildred Wild, same time next year. We'll go to 82, Dial M, Pirates, 83, Death Trap on Golden Pond, and then Fiddler. And these happen to be kind of willy-nilly, both you've designed and you've painted, because we have all these slides and we tried to pick out
And there's a progression too, and and an impact and an influence that you can see on the tech and the scenery of the Playhouse, really.
right, exactly.
There it goes.
Yep, here we go.
Hold
All
on.
right.
So I haven't hit pause yet. All right, play.
Okay.
So just tell me when
Okay,
you
it's
want me to pause,
right. It's pretty near the beginning.
and I'll
And
confirm that. Okay, good. It's just so
okay,
you
so
know that
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to respond back.
I'll interrupt.
Interject.
Interject.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go. Look how cute.
You have hair.
These go by pretty fast. Look with Carol Anderson. Okay, we're in La Mancha. It's pretty much next, I think. Keep going. That's it. Stop. Thank you. Okay, so this was what I remember Jim telling me, Jim Singlis, designer of La Mancha, the kind of hope that he interjected into La Mancha, that into this moment in La Mancha where Eric Johnson and I are having a scene here with, and look at how beautiful that set is. God, look at how gorgeous. So what I guess I wanted to ask you, Joe, about that painting and about painting on the backside and how that all worked.
How lighting.
How lighting made that go and all.
This is known as a double-sided translucency. It's one of the more difficult stunts to pull off for a scenic artist. Over the years, I've painted a lot of them, so I have a lot of base knowledge about it. It involves the use of dye versus paint. The trick is that everything on the front is painted in dye and is translucent.
On the front?
On the front.
I thought it was on the back.
No, well, in this particular case, I think it's both. Because
I'm almost sure there was something on the back.
The dye.
Oh, there is. No,
okay.
the village was on the back side, and it was all painted in dye, but you could only see it when you backlight it.
There you go.
And that's the trick. And so for the entire show, there was a translucent stone dungeon painted on the face side of the drops.
Right. This was
and it's lit from the front for the entire show, except for this moment. And in this moment, you take the front light off, you bring the back light up, the village appears.
Yeah, beautiful.
One of the classic scenic designer sleights of hand.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. And it felt differently. It felt different. It made you could hear the audience receive it, actually.
Yes. Gasps. We did a production at Lincoln Center that was nothing but a star field all night long. And then right at the climactic moment of the play, the backlight comes up for the first time, and all of the gods, the zodiac gods, appear in the heavens. And it brought gasps from the audience.
Yeah, no, this did as well. And this is, he was singing Dulcinea, and the costumes by Dean Mogul, gorgeous. They were spray dyed and directed by Robert Neff Williams, beautiful, and designed by Jim Singles. Who did the lights?
Who
Who did?
did
I don't,
what?
The lights.
I don't remember.
Bill Anderson did the lights.
Oh, of course, Bill did the
Right? No,
lights.
Jim Singles and Bill Anderson working
Changed
together were
changed
one of the best
everything.
design teams.
Changed everything at the Playhouse.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's right. Of course he did. Okay.
Rolling.
Okay, roll them, Mark. So we'll see one more of this kind of hidden in these. But look at beautiful. There's Jan Swank, Eric. I needed a wig, but let's not talk about that. And look at the colors.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Jimmy, you're absolutely the best.
And look at that. Yeah. So this is what you normally got until that moment. Yeah. Okay, we're on to She Stoops. Okay, so this was the next show, which means you were painting your tush off, baby.
Yes.
Oh, look at directed by Robert Neff Williams, costumes by Dean Mogul, and then all this beautiful painting you did. Well, of course, we have to look at my gorgeous costume. There we go. Look at that forced perspective. Wow.
Now, that summer, painting these shows for Mr. Singles, I can honestly say that's the moment I went from being someone studying to being to be a scenic artist to actually feeling like I was one. And I will always be grateful to the Playhouse for that. It was the experience of doing that many shows that quickly,
Right,
with a designer that knew how to use a scenic artist to his advantage. I mean, I learned so much about design and painting from Jim that summer.
and lighting. I mean, and how it interplayed with Bill's lighting.
Yes, yes.
Okay, here we are in Mildred Wild, which was who's Prune, which was designed by you.
Yes, yes, it was.
Look at this.
Tom Hill, the illustrious director.
That's right.
Trying to elicit some kind of visual image from him, I asked him, when he looked at the set, what did he want to see? He said it should look like somebody had pissed all over it, pardon my French. And that came to haunt him. If you look at these pictures, that became my goal in life, to make sure that everything looked like it had been peed on for a while.
Is that Carl Cater?
That is Carl.
Yes.
My gosh.
And Jimmy Don and Jill Swank. Yes, and I brought all the props. I brought everything out of the prop storage, and I did all that work, and also got my wisdom teeth pulled.
And Carl Cater, the construction worker, was there to build the arm of Kong.
Right.
It crashed through the wall.
The arm of Kong. That was fun. Okay, so Dial M, let's talk a minute about this. Menno said that you encouraged them to the paint staff, and we should have held that there, but that's okay. The Fragonard.
I can go back if you want.
Can you?
Sure. Would you want to go back to Dial M? Is that right?
Yes, and then we won't make you do it again. But I want to hear a little bit about how you. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Thanks, Mark. Okay, it's going to be the next shot, I think.
I think the paint.
There we go. Stop.
I think the paint shop was complaining that they didn't have anything interesting to paint because it was a straight set, and I think you convinced me to include this in the hallway of Dial M and the paint shop to paint it, and it was a wonderful exercise during that time for something. That was totally a learning experience for the scenic artists. And, I think it was a great thing.
But yeah, look how brilliantly successful it is.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah.
Just everything of importance is captured. There's depth, which is the hardest thing to do, as you well know.
Yes.
You feel like that painting goes back in space forever. Bravo, brava.
Right. Summer stock. That's the unbelievable
Right.
part.
Summer
Yes.
stock. Yes. And I think it was right next to um uh, Pirates, which is going to be next. Yeah.
And I can tell you, as scenic artists, you never forget your first Fragonard.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was very successful. Look at how gorgeous. Yeah. Okay, moving forward, we're
You
gonna.
can ask me to pause whenever. This is not going to be a problem.
Oh,
I see how
excellent.
this needs to work. So whatever you want me to do, just let me know.
Thank you, Mark. Okay. So I think we're now into Pirates, which was gorgeous. I know Dean did the costumes and you did the set, and I'm not sure who did the lights. Connie Dykstra, Don Sherrill, Randy Lewandowski, he was from Shadron.
Oh, there they are.
Who directed it?
He was a gentleman from California. I cannot think of his name now.
Connie Dykstra
Damon?
Smith?
Damon?
No, not Damon.
No, he was a one-off hire. He was an opera director.
Okay, and here we are at Death Trap. Your renderings and now what your beautiful set. And Kurt Stam and I can't think of his name. He was a wonderful actor.
Okay,
Dave Sani and me.
could we go back one?
Yes.
Because I'm going to stop. To the set. Just for
Right.
everybody's, the thing that I found most fascinating in all of this is that obviously the set had a lot of weapons all over it, guns, knives, axes, you name it. That's why it was Death Trap.
Death Trap, yes.
And some arm of the South Dakota establishment were concerned about Native American radicals coming
At that time.
and
So
stealing the guns. So
we're talking about 82. No, we're talking about 83. Yeah.
they posted a sheriff at the theater to guard it. To me, that kind of blew me away. Coming from the East with not a lot of understanding about those
Lakota.
ancient relationships, I was stunned.
Wow.
And of course, nothing
And
worked.
how did they know? How did they know though, Joe? So I don't
They-
remember that part.
Well, it was because in the process of gathering the weapons, we raised a few eyebrows, I think.
Got you. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Death Trap. Death
Anyway.
Trap. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, nice set. And Moody, hello. Yeah, they show the guns and all. Yeah. Interesting.
Knives and
The knives and yeah.
You're wielding one right
And
there.
there's Dave Sani. May he rest in peace. And actually Dean helped me with my makeup. Dean Mogul. And here we are on Golden Pond. Yeah. So this is with Tony Award-winning Jared Emick, Hap, and here's a young Ron Moyer.
Yeah, Ron Moyer.
Oh, Ron.
Yeah. I can't.
Harriet
Redden and wonderful Harriet and Hap together. They were a wonderful team on Golden Pond, which was the close
real trees in the background
of 1983. Now we're in Fiddler, and this is on the big stage in Rapid City, the
Civic
Center, and it was a combination of the Black Hills Playhouse and Rapid group theater and all. Look at you two. Look at teaching.
Wow.
Teaching. And look at how beautiful.
My apologies to Mark Chagall.
Well, Chagall-ish, I was going to say yes, but no apologies. I made Menno put that in.
Wow.
It was wonderful, and it was a complete success. Well, we didn't lose money, I should say that way, on this production, co-production, and with full orchestra by Megan Knowles and the Rapid City Orchestra. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
No,
Gorgeous.
and it was a tremendous amount of fun to do it, to be a part of it. Because as I remember, we were doing something that hadn't been tried before, and we were
Exactly.
pushing everybody's boundaries, and
Right.
the timeline was ridiculous. Uh, and so, that whole time period, the weeks there were so, you woke up every day jazzed, ready to go, and stumbled into bed late at night exhausted.
And
Uh,
here was our party afterwards, and yes.
Oh my
And look
goodness.
at you two.
how
And Damon, director Damon Crawl. Yes, lovely. And behind him actually is Knowles, is
Conductor.
the conductor. Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Well,
So
Wow.
that was a kind of a snapshot of some of the work you guys did at the Playhouse. You would have, yeah, you were there then, Deb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that was video number one. So what my question, well, you've kind of answered it, but I want you both to take a little bit of time to talk about what the play, how it really did help you. I know you go ahead and recap again what the Playhouse did for me.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Well, it didn't teach me how to party. Okay.
It did not?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
there is so many things, so many things. Yes, from Jim Singlis, I learned my craft, and just doing that number of shows taught me so much. The people that I was working with, but I learned as much about community
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how to function in community.
Team playing.
Captain Lenny taught me as many lessons as Jim Singles did, and Minnow and you and everyone. It changed me as fundamentally as a person, and I look back at as those months doing those shows is probably the most enjoyment I ever got out of the theater. It was just magic. I wished I could have kept doing it forever.
Yeah, there was a sense of family. I mean, it was just,
Truthfully.
everybody, there was none of this, we're the actors and you're the techs, and it was everybody got together and it was just it was a good community of people that came together and put on the most wonderful shows. And I just think for me, just learning painting, where Joe had introduced me to scene painting from college into going into the Black Hills Playhouse. I mean, every year it was a new experience of growth. So that when I actually came back after all of that, um, he had taught me all of the things that Lester told me not to do. But and I ended up in what was it, in 86. So 3 years, 4 year, no, 2 or 3 years after the Playhouse, I took the union exam.
Okay.
Oh, so you were ready at that point because of the buildup.
Yeah, it
Oh,
really taught me
nice.
a lot. And it also taught me a lot about, how fast you had to be to get everything done, because time was of the essence at the Playhouse.
Right. And when you look at those shows back to back, you're thinking, oh my God, and that's all in minutes. We
Yeah.
didn't run anything
One.
more than two
No.
weeks. Maybe
has
we
taken-
did 3 weeks, but
no,
still,
It was no, it was crunch time. And
yeah.
I think that was a good lesson.
it's
Sorry,
taken me
go
a
ahead.
lifetime to learn this. But when you work in the theater and everyone's committed, that sometimes, if you're really lucky, the what you create is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yes, yes.
And
Menno often says this. Yes.
that creation is pure grace.
Yeah.
It's what we live for.
Yeah.
And the Black Hills Playhouse, man.
Right.
So
The whole idea of being out in the middle of in an envelope out in the middle of the woods and only focusing on that, and then the community which you're talking about. When I think of the two of you, I think of your marriage at the little church. What's that
State
called?
Game Lodge.
State Game
Oh,
Lodge.
yeah.
And how fun that really was, and how fun, but before that marriage was your amazing
Party.
party,
Bridal.
your bridal shower, we called it.
Yeah.
And actually it was a part of history of the Playhouse, because those were the days when and that year was 83.
Yes.
And that was I was pre-cast as Dolly, which was not done, because all the casting was done show to show, and all the rest of my Playhouse stuff was show to show to show, and the angst of that, and going through auditions, and then the company bouncing back, but sometimes not, because they didn't get the parts they wanted. And that particular night of your shower was the Dolly's list went up at intermission, which cast list. And then from that moment on, there was turmoil, of course, in people all so upset about that was one thing that was happening. Your wedding shower was another thing happening, and all of that coincided and enlarged through the crazy evening of people realizing what their next 2 months were going to be like, mostly actors, but
Mostly actors.
but the whole craziness came to, and I said I wasn't going to say this, but I will, but I won't use the names. But at the end of the evening, and
No.
he's telling me no, I won't say the evening. So it was just a crazy explosion of angst from actors, and your wedding shower, one of the most vivid parties I have ever been to. And maybe Mark's right, we shouldn't go on. Except I do love the closing line, which was a complaint about the noise coming out, and we were up at the Hilton, and
Actually, the next video is
yes, thank you,
is a
Meadow.
good way. It's a good way to show how
good
the
lead-in.
Playhouse.
Hey, I'm only the recorder here. You guys can do whatever you want.
How the Playhouse.
There are no
plays.
rules.
And
How they
you know,
a community that comes together
together.
and works hard putting on theater, and then plays hard.
together.
So this
So-
is a great introduction to the 1980 gladiator fight. But what I just learned recently from you, Joe, how this happened, the
How that
gladiator
started,
fight. So you give us the intro, and then Mark run it.
I was back for my second season, and there's a slight ritual that you go through, kissing the horned ass, and there were several things involved, and I was having trouble with it. It felt like hazing to me, and so I had one of my famous Captain Lenny walks down the road while, and the conversation turned to what's funny, because I said, I don't find this funny. And he said, well, then show me what funny is. And I went, okay. And from that came the gladiator paint fights.
I had no idea, but what fun we had, and that all you had to do was create it. And this was the Moth Patrol, who was in these years would help you if you were coming outside of the Sherdlu or outside the design studio. There were always these giant moths, and you'd have to bat them away, and they were huge. And the Moth Patrol was developed by Uncle Fred, who's not in this, and Jimmy Dawn, and they would, and this was the capes are all what Dean had.
Window curtains.
Well, they were curtains in camp, and they were the lining for all of our costumes for years. And so the moth, so here's the Moth Patrol before the gladiator fight, and they all had MP. And what they would do is swash away, swish, swash away the moths as around the light, so you could. Are those moths bothering you, ma'am? Let me help you. And then they would get rid of the moths so you could exit the, wherever you were late at night. They were very helpful, the Moth Patrol, and they were around for years.
Yeah, just another word about the Moth Patrol was, I mean, the gladiator paint fights, everyone had a good time, but it was one day, one afternoon.
Right.
The Moth Patrol took on a life, a sustained life that
For years.
that was
For years.
for years. Just remarkable insanity. You couldn't get away from it. You couldn't escape it. It was everywhere and brilliant.
Is that moth bothering you, ma'am? Let us help you here. Exactly.
You'd be sitting in your room reading whatever, and the Moth Patrol would burst in, take out every moth in the room because there were moths everywhere. You'd thank them for their service, and off into the night they would go.
Exactly. The moth. God love them. They were classic unto their own.
All right.
Going forward. The day was an amazing day, and we had such fun. I hope he can take it forward. Are you?
You want me to hit play? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, here you go. Sorry.
Yeah. There. Oh, no problem. Plus, you can see the old theater there, which is a nice shot of the old theater. Gladiator fight, 1980. Okay.
Look at those gentlemen.
Look at those gentlemen. And here's the scene shop. That was the paint shop. Who besides Dave Sanney is it?
It's Lyle Ehlers.
Lyle, that's right. And the procession here is Mr. Jim Singlis with Scotty and Paul Dykstra. Here's, yes, carried in.
The Emperor, yeah.
Well, wasn't it Titus Butticus?
Emperor Titus
Lenny.
Butticus.
Oh, that was Lenny. Oh,
That was Lenny.
Look at you. Look at you. And box seats. I'm up there with Bill and Randy. Here are the Vestal Virgins. Yes. Who were 9 months pregnant. Oh, you look good there. Nice. I like the bras. Jim Singlis in all his glory. Wanda Weisler, Paul Dykstra, Leila Heisey.
And Liana. Not. Do you remember?
Is that her, Liana? What a babe.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Was she a painter? Was
No,
she a
Leila.
Yeah,
Oh.
she came out. She came out. Liana isn't right. She came out to the Playhouse with me. She was
Ileana.
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 Thank you.
gorgeous?
A force of nature.
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah. Carol with her hand in her bra. And Jim looking so cute. All of us. Ooh, great concern. Look at that. What fun. Battle continues. How to play. Look what you created, Joe.
I have to say there was a moment where because it was one we were all instantly winded. We planned a 3-minute round, and after 30 seconds, we were all standing around, hands on our knees, wondering how we were going to get through this.
Dave Dave
Dave
Sandy.
Sanny was Dave Sanny. I just dipped my paint flogger in the black paint, and Lyle was getting fresh paint, and Dave had his back to me, fighting Kevin Noteboom, and with that absolutely full paint flogger, I oh so gently just sort of laid it on top of his head, and the tips of it all just splashed down into his face, and his mouth was and I may have taken a few years off his life, I'm not sure.
Well,
But
he
it was one of those moments that you just is like, wow, I hope somebody got a picture of that.
Well, there is a picture back of you where he's pretty darn, yeah, look at this. And Jim Singlas in his glory, all his glory, and of course, ending with the Moth Patrol. What a day. Paint shop versus scene shop, the most experienced floggers won.
Okay, all these years later, I can now reveal the fact that Kevin and I did everything we could to stack the deck in our favor.
Well, of course you
Yeah.
did.
I mean, yeah,
First of
we
all,
wouldn't lose.
the
We made
instruments.
sure we wouldn't lose.
Okay, let's see. So the Tony, my next question to you, I have two final kind of questions. One is well, let's start with the one. How did the Tony receiving that change you at all? Did it? And what were your thoughts about that?
Um, More sort of, I mean, certainly appreciated that my work was being recognized, but I'm a heart transplant. I I was being honored as this profound scenic artist when I hadn't picked up a paintbrush in 10 years. I was very good at hiring brilliant artists, and they were very good at putting up with me. So it was a recognition of so many people, my wife who stuck through me through all of it, that for me, it was more about making sure when I stood up and spoke when they gave it to me that I made it clear that I didn't get here by myself, that this is a community and nobody gets anywhere without it.
That's right.
And I was just particularly blessed to be able to be the guy in front.
Right. Okay, I guess I'll follow with how did well, let's go to the next one. And this is for both of you, I want to know, in walking into so much color all the time and working with color, intense colors, psychologically and visually, how were there times that affected you? I mean, it always affects you. How did it affect you? The intense color of what you were sometimes of what you were experiencing.
I'll go first just because it brings to mind a particular moment. For 20 years, our main paint studio was the top floor of a building perched on the edge of the Hudson River, and the interior was all painted white, and the morning sun would stream through the windows. And some mornings I would walk in the door to the shop, and these magnificent, colorful paintings, the light would be streaming in on them, and all of those colors would be reflected on the walls and the ceiling, and it just took my breath away.
Magic.
Walk in the door, stop, and just feel myself be lifted up. Big, goofy grin on my face. Just profoundly beautiful. Amazing. So that's how I reacted to the color.
Yeah.
Go ahead, honey.
And any averse ones ever? I mean, did you ever have colors that you worked with that just couldn't?
No, I'm kind of, I don't have a no.
You're an all color guy.
Yeah, I'm an all color guy. there's been some questionable colors along the way, some choices I looked at and went, okay, but who am I?
Deb?
Well, I didn't have any windows where I worked. I ran the crews at a shop called PRG, so we were the subcontractors. So I was in a space with carpenters, steel guys, and electrics. And mine was the hard scenery. So my love and what I was greeted with most of the time, which I really like to do, is texture. So all the shows that we had that were textural, where it was where I started to get excited about the work that we had to do during that time.
Mhm.
So it was the texture that got you.
Yeah. And
Which
it
is
was
back
also
to, hello, back to cakes,
what?
back to bakery cakes.
Back to bakery cakes. I mean, there was one show that it was a Scott Pask, and I can't think of the name of it. Uh the one with
The band's visit.
band's visit, where his design was just fabulous, where he wanted the walls to be like broken plaster, but yet it was to look mountainous to reflect uh, the place of where the set was taking place. And it was a challenge, and it was absolutely beautiful when we were done.
What was the name of that again?
The band's visit.
I
Won the
think
Tony
there,
Award, I believe.
Yeah,
and I
Scott
think that
Pask.
there is a good video on that texture work is worked into some of the videos.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
beautiful. Yes, yeah.
I will just say, because my wife doesn't like to talk about herself very much. The company that she worked within is Production Resource Group, a worldwide company who does theatrical work all over the world. And their specialty is automation and decks. And so Deb has probably painted 100 Broadway decks. She
Wow.
is in some circles known as the Queen.
Oh, baby.
And
The Queen of Decks?
they
Queen of Decks.
they still drag her out.
Nice.
Good.
She still gets phone calls from panic-stricken production managers. "Hey, you've got to fly out to Vegas and look at this. We don't understand what's going on."
Wow.
After all I mean, and Deb left the building several years ago. So she has a legend of her own.
Yay.
She
Yeah,
doesn't
of
like to
course you
talk
do.
about.
Don't be ridiculous. Yes, of course. That's the Deb I know. That's the Deb who I went to your wedding
The bridal shower.
bridal shower. What a crazy night. God, that was fun.
Next segue.
Next segue. Okay, my last question to you both, and then if there's something else you'd like to share, please do. But now you have another heart. Someone transplanted another. They luckily, and this all worked out. Do you feel different in your heart now that you have heart number two? Tell all of us who don't ever experience that. Is there a different heartness to you?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And
Just knowing that someone had to die
wow,
for you to keep living
yeah,
is a heavy
Yeah.
burden to ask yourself, what am I supposed to do with this gift? How am I supposed to spend this gift and the time that has been given me that other person was denied? And everything takes on a new richness and a new texture and everything becomes a lot more important that you get it right, that you don't waste the gift.
Time, the gift. Nice, nice, brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
Deb?
Well, no, I can say that it was a long road,
Of course.
more for Joe than for me, but it was to be on the sidelines to watch um, Joe slowly over, I don't know, 10, 12 years go downhill, where, the doctor had said, listen, we gotta do something here and get you on a list, because you literally have one foot in the grave.
Wow.
And your whole perspective, your whole world just
Right. Yeah.
changes.
Right.
And watching him go through all of that, uh you, you embrace your second life, your second marriage, your family, everything, and you just look at everything differently.
Right.
And
Does it feel in your body different?
I feel great.
Good.
And I spent years not feeling
Feeling
great.
great.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Um,
the difference. Yeah.
and my heart was failing. It was electrical issues.
Mm.
So I would go into sudden fatal arrhythmias and
Oof.
would collapse in a heap on the floor.
Oh dear.
And the defibrillator in my chest would go off and send me flying across the room, but it would shock my heart back.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's how I lived for about 8 years.
Wow. Wow.
But
Um,
even before you got the defibrillator, he would go into an arrhythmia. I just remember we we were picking up our son from a camp that he was away for a month in Canada, and we were having breakfast with him when he first got back, and his heart went into an arrhythmia, and he just sort of like started falling over and had, so I'm like dragging him, and I'm like, Joe, 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 and our son is like,
Oh
and
yeah.
finally he goes, okay, I'm good.
Okay, I'm back to normal. Wow.
It was
Well,
crazy,
I'm sure it was, but
crazy time.
yeah,
luckily you had luckily you had go ahead.
that was great. Now let's do it 3 times.
Luckily you had been through crazy before, so you recognized it. That's all.
No, I was just saying you looking back on it, it's hard to believe that we went through it.
Yeah.
I mean, it does, there's a sort of unreal quality to
Yeah.
whenever I look back at that experience.
Yeah, because the stories that occasionally come out, remember that time? And it's
Yeah.
just like you can't believe
Can we,
not only are you experiencing him falling over like a tree, but you're also running a business, you've got kids,
Right.
you're
All of
doing
it.
all this stuff, and yet you're still pulling your husband up, going, hello, hello, wake up.
okay, we got time for one more story.
Oh, of course.
Okay. This was before the heart transplant. I wore an LVAD. I had an external pump and a tube that ran into my body. They installed a pump to help my heart function. Opening night, Big Fish on Broadway. We're in the middle of the orchestra, and the battery pack
Oh boy.
that powered the pump got to its last reserves, and I started beeping like a truck backing.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I interrupted opening night
Oh.
on Broadway, and now I'm the guy trying to get out, going, excuse me, I have 10 minutes to live. Excuse me, I need to get out of the theater. we ran to the parking garage where the spare batteries were, switched the battery. The spare battery was also dead. That's another
Oh,
story. So
Yeah.
now we're truly frantic. We get our car. Deb drives. I lay down. I put the seat down next to her because I figure it's probably going to be better to be laying down when this thing stops working. And Deb broke every traffic law known to man.
of course she did. Don't be
Got
ridiculous.
to Columbia Presbyterian in under 10 minutes,
Wow.
and they snapped a fresh battery in, looked at the two of us, and went, "Wow, we thought you were smarter than that." So that's my big fish story.
That's your big fish opening. Well, you're very lucky. Mark.
I got a question. Hey, have you ever met or talked to the donors family?
Yes, they managed that very carefully. I traded letters with the sister of the gentleman. Uh, they eventually broke off communication because the mother couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Sure.
But yes, they and in some cases you actually meet, and I would have loved that because I felt I felt
Sure.
their loss in such an intimate way.
Sure.
Right,
Um, so
right.
Wow, that can be tough, obviously. Yeah.
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 Wow.
Interesting. I mean, how that's handled and how that makes you think, like goes back to your being grateful and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're to the very end. Will you do the introduction into the fabulous, I can't say his name, I don't want to
Artist.
butcher it. The artist, we're going to end with that
Lottie.
gorgeous piece of being you sitting for your portrait. And will
okay,
you introduce it and then Mark bring us all in and I'll just wrap things up after that.
okay. Last story. Vladi came to the school.
Flotty.
He was a trained portrait artist, a brilliant painter. Had never been a scenic artist in his life, but was starving to death. And I had one semester to teach him everything he needed to know to pass the union exam.
Wow.
And it was a unique experience for both of us. He was probably the most talented artist I've ever had the pleasure of teaching something to. And he was as lost with the process as anyone could be, yet had all that, could figure it out so quickly. Long story short, he passed, he got in the union,
Good.
he's not starving anymore. And sort of
And
as a thank you,
where's your portrait?
it's hanging in my studio.
It's
In my-
absolutely gorgeous.
it is
Absolutely
it is
gorgeous.
remarkable. It is absolutely
And
remarkable.
so is this video, whoever put the video together.
He
It's so beautiful.
he painted it in my I sat for him for an hour and a half.
That's all?
That's it.
Yeah, hour
Wow.
and a half. And there was no sketch. There was no
Wow.
drawing. He
Wow.
picked up paint and started painting.
All
It was
right.
amazing to watch.
Here we go.
Well, it only took him a semester to pass the exam. Jeez. Here you go.
Can you play it, Mark?
Wow.
There we
I
go.
don't think I've ever seen this.
Oh, it's gorgeous, Deb.
Vladi,
Bloody.
such a sweetheart of a gentleman.
Look at this.
Just a gentle spirit with more talent than anyone I've ever worked with, nearabouts.
The old art of having our portrait painted.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that. What an honor.
Yes,
No, he's amazing.
yes.
What an honor. What a beautiful, lovely. Well, that's wonderful that you helped change his life in such a positive way as you have through countless of people who have seen both of your works through the years in the theater, especially at the Playhouse and then on Broadway. We honor your work. We honor the both of you. We honor you as alumni. You're excited that you're coming to the reunion, and thank
See you there.
And see you there. And
Yes,
thank you.
thank
Just
you.
just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to you and Minnow
Yeah.
and Mark for all of your work
Yeah,
and all of
just
your effort putting this
unbelievable.
stuff together. What a gift.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Menno will send you the little video.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
Thank
everyone
you
who's
so
listening,
much.
Thank
please
you.
come and meet these lovely people, lovely, talented Tony Award winner, Joe and Deb Forbes. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Menno.
Bye.